This is the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Let's go nuts! It's Jimmy Nuts! Right out of the door!
With your hosts, Mark Martinez.
Because I'm the Mark. And I'm awesome!
The Guru.
Today I'm going to break it down for all you simpleton sweat hogs listening out there in Can Crusher Nation. I don't mean to come out here week after week and toot my own horn, but toot.
And the English Professor.
It is I, the English Professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen.
Hey, this is former WWE superstar Duke the Dumpster Drosy, and you are listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
And welcome to another episode. Never mind, you don't care who's on the show with me. How about, no, I do. You guys do.
Well, because I'm here and Soup's here.
Yeah, welcome aboard, Soup. We haven't had him on since COVID-17.
Yeah, it's been a while, and plus, I've been swamped at work with taxes. I'm just glad to be back out here as IRS. Sports are back, wrestling's been going on, so I'm having the time of my life now.
And John in his luxury home. What's up?
Yeah, my luxury office, with, as we said last time, the new computer, the new microphone, headset.
Still internet service that sucks?
Serious business.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah.
First and foremost, how about that new intro? 2-to-1 Media kicks some major ass. They brought Miz into the studio for us.
That's a big name to
That's
pull.
incredible.
Chad's got nothing to 2-to-1. He doesn't care about Jeremy. He says, fuck Jeremy.
It sounds excellent, well put together. I mean, they had to work with, John and your stuff a little bit more than mine, but, there's things like that happen.
Jeremy actually asked me, he's like, holy shit, this Guru guy, is he going to be the only guy that talks during your intro since his was a minute long? He had to edit it down? Nothing?
That's all right.
I thought it was good, Chad. I thought it was good.
Did.
Yeah, he cut a wrestling promo, Chad.
Let me find some snake pictures to share with you, Mark.
Speaking of which, we'll get to that because something happened earlier this week, I guess. I don't remember, but we'll bring it up. And then, you don't even know about this one. Okay. My God. This was after, of course, I watched Saturday Night's Main Event that we talked about.
It made me pop.
Yeah. How about the new logo as well? I mean, there's just two big things that I don't know, 1A and 1A, right? That
Absolutely,
logo.
Yeah. I don't know how you choose. The logo is really awesome. Mark, when you told me that, can we say who's responsible for that?
We have to.
Okay, so yeah, you told me Jack Pollock was working on something for us. When I saw it, it blew me away. There is, and I'm going to go on the record, there is no better wrestler artist, pound for pound, than Jack Pollock. His stuff is better than Jerry Lawler's. It's better than Bret Hart's, and you know how I feel about Bret Hart.
So you damn well better probably buy a Jack Pollock shirt then, huh?
I think so.
up.
Yeah. No, he did a great job. I love it. Really well done.
He did, and because I never keep shit for a secret, well, it's not our secret. He's actually working with an Impact person now. I'll leave it at that. I connected Jack Pollock with somebody at Impact, and he's going to make a logo for a T-shirt.
That's great. You have all the connections, Mark. You make all the connections.
I have to. Your internet service sucks. I have to.
I must say, Chad, you look good in blue face paint.
Well, thank you.
You look good.
Why are you going up in your handicapped chair?
Sat on the remote.
So everybody's going to probably question that. Let's talk about that logo a little bit because the entrance says it for itself, the intro. I am the champ. I am the host of the show. I am the one that started. You guys always say this every week, so I'm going to just take it and run with it. I am the one that should be holding Sweet Charlotte. And I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Now, hold on. Before you go into explaining the rest of it, what about giving away a free sticker or whatever to somebody who can guess what's behind John and I.
All right, I guess we'll do that then.
Just an idea.
That's a great idea. And where can they send that, Chad?
I don't know, Mark. What are the addresses? You know I can't remember shit.
You can send your guesses.
I know it.
Go ahead, Sue.
It is cancrushers69@gmail.com. Correct?
You're going to be on the next logo.
And I also know if you're ever looking for comfy apparel, I think was the word you used last week, go to Collar and Elbow, use the promo code CANCRUSHERS, capital C and can, capital C and Crushers, and it'll save you some money.
And it donates to our drinking.
Yes. And I'm looking at the logo here. I'm taking it, one of these blue cans is John's Blue Girly Drink.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Jack Pollock listens.
And we got to say, with Collar and Elbow, it goes to Al Snow's retirement fund at 104 and a half years old.
Impressive.
You know,
He looks good.
He looks good for his age.
So should we just play the Collar and Elbow shot now, or just wait and do this whole shtick again?
Yeah, we kind of...
I might have jumped the gun.
You kind of came in a little early with that, but whatever. I'll talk about Collar and Elbow anytime. I'm wearing my shirt.
All right, stop. All right, let's get to... we can get to wrestling, but I really haven't talked to most of you this week. Soup has been drinking with me all day, so I've talked to him enough. I really have. We had a family reunion. We have pounded beverages since 1 o'clock.
Bunch of burgers, dogs.
We had a buffet.
Yeah.
A buffet?
A buffet. A huge buffet.
Jimmy?
Yes. A little Margaritaville. Unbelievable. If you were a decent person, Chad, I would probably say there's burger and dogs in the fridge. There's a huge-ass pineapple with shrimps and stuff in it. It's unbelievable.
Oh.
But
I'm
you
not
got
a
to be an
decent-
asshole and bring up bad stuff. So let's bring up the bad stuff. We'll get... Now, I'll save that to Saturday night's main event. When we talk about Saturday night's main event, I have some story to tell you. And with the wife and the other family in the other room, maybe we'll get a chuckle out of them, or Kelly will make an appearance because she should clarify this because I don't remember it. But we'll go... Let's get into wrestling because we've rambled for 5 minutes of nothing, except our amazing new logo and the awesome third version of our intro. Right?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's start with NXT this week. Screw it up. Because you have your notes ready and I just want to be a dick.
You just said, before we went on, you said AEW and then NXT. So I have my AEW notes out, and you're like, you know what? Screw it. We'll start with NXT. NXT. Okay.
Actually, we should start with Team Dojo Wrestling because that's actually what we're watching in studio right now, and you ain't.
Oh, one of the champs are out. I see that.
It's a big guy.
The other guy owned it. Oh, yeah.
All right. NXT. It started with Ripley and Dakota Kai. Man, the winner of this gets Io Shirai. Ripley has just been on a downfall since WrestleMania. I just can't get with her.
It's what happens when you lose to the Queen.
Do not start that shit.
John, tell him. Tell him, John.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. You lose to the Queen. But then again, losing to the Queen is losing to the best. But after a defeat like that, it could be
Mess with your
difficult
psyche.
to pick yourself back up.
Messes with her psyche.
Chad, help me.
Yeah, she's been on a free fall with ever since McMahon kind of lost faith in her.
But why did he?
Because, okay, I'm closer to the exit.
Yeah, what is the reason?
Because she doesn't look like a TNA female to him. She's not.
You were going to put everything in your side pocket tonight because there's women in the other room.
I didn't mean Impact.
Yeah, you're talking about tits and ass before you even get on the air.
I can hear you upstairs, too, when you talk about that, so...
Yeah, let's talk about people turning around from the table and walking into the wall.
All right.
So,
A big win for Kai, though. She's going to get a title shot.
She is, and I'm a huge fan of Mercedes Martinez that came in and kind of helped. I've been a huge fan of Mercedes probably since we saw her at Rise. I knew a little bit about her beforehand, but when we went to that card, John, a few years back, Rise in Pittsburgh, man, she put on a hell of a match.
What do you mean you only knew her now, though? She's your cousin.
Well, I meant in the ring.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, professionally. Yeah. I thought this was a great match, guys. Rhea Ripley's strikes look like she is loading a shotgun, like she's pumping a shotgun before striking. She's vicious. This was a great match by both women. It took up about the first 20 minutes of the show. That's great to see. I believed Ripley was going to win. There's the interference at the end by Mercedes Martinez. There's a good win for Dakota Kai, and it sends Ripley in another direction. It puts her in a feud with someone who kind of has a similar look. Big, strong, mean-looking, hard-nosed fighter. I'm looking forward to a Ripley-Martinez program for sure.
Nice. Next matchup was Bronson Reed against Shane Thorne. I thought it was going to be a squash match. Overall, it wasn't bad. Reed gets the win. He's getting the push because he's in that North American ladder match already. It was one that I was all right with.
Same. Yeah, nothing really stood out for me here. I think that's kind of what it was intended to be, though. What was essentially not a squash, but a put-over match.
Yeah.
Hey, the Yankees lost 8-4.
Damn it.
What?
They
won 8-4.
They won 8-4 the first game.
Yeah, that was the first game. They're playing two
Now
right
they
now, Chad.
lost. Now it's official. They lost 5-3 in the second game.
Oh, shit. Looked at the wrong one. Sorry.
Good job, Penny.
Shut John.
La Familia beating the shit out of Fandango and Tyler Breeze stole the show for me. Literally.
That's a good group, those three. I like them together. DJZ
It's about time you
and
get on my side.
IWC.
I know I'm Italian as well, but I'm also Mexican.
True with that name, Martinez. But, you know, he's running the Cruiserweight division as a champ, and then he's got his two guys there on the side that they might even get into the tag team division. You never know.
My Spanish minor helped. I knew what he was saying when they dragged him out. I could translate if you guys wanted to, but
they were going to Taco Bell and getting burritos.
That's what I understood.
That's what I had.
It was a great set. Probably like 2012, somewhere in and around there, 2013, Fandango was relatively new. It's when he was doing his shtick when he wouldn't wrestle anybody unless they said his name properly.
I liked that.
I loved it. I liked it. Mark, you remember Billy? He had an extra ticket, invited me to Raw. I don't watch wrestling. I couldn't tell you since when. And that was one of the first. That's the only thing I really remember from that show. He was supposed to wrestle the big fat guy that's like got all the piercings, and I think he was named after not Prince Albert.
Tensai.
Right?
Tensai.
Was he
at the time?
Yeah, at that time it was. Yeah.
Right. And he didn't wrestle, and the fans were so pissed off. It was legitimate heat because the announcer didn't breathe the A's when he said Fandango. I'm like, this is why I love wrestling. And he walked out of the match. Since then, the whole Breezango thing, man, I was so glad to see this guy get the shit beat out of him. And it was a brilliant promo. I loved it.
I'm a huge fan of the Robert Stone brand. I love Robbie E. I've loved Robbie E. since I first saw him on Impact. I think this is where he belongs doing this shtick. And we have Mercedes, my cousin Mercedes now with them. I think this solidifies them as a player in NXT now. When it was just him and the other girl,
Aaliyah?
Yeah.
What happened to Chelsea, though?
She fired him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, her loss.
Now she's probably hating it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's probably also hating NXT, and she's probably ready to go to AEW. But we'll wait on that.
Yeah.
Nothing on the Robert Stone, Chad?
No, this was a piss break match.
The next match actually was a piss break match for me.
What, your other cousin?
Yeah, Punishment Martinez against Oni Lorcan in Ridgeway Holland or Ridge Hall, whatever. He's
from UK.
He's from the UK. When Damian Priest came out, the writing was on the wall that he's moving into this ladder match. That's all it is.
It was pretty obvious.
Cameron Grimes against...
I do...
Oh, okay.
Can I mention one thing? Oni Lorcan has a master's degree in bar fights. I wonder how that holds up to Mr. Saloon. The Crusher was Mr. Saloon 4 years in a row in Milwaukee. which wasn't just bar fights. It was like you had to carry a keg around the block and whatever else you had to do. But he was Mr. Saloon 4 years in a row, but this Oni guy's got a master's degree in bar fights.
I'll ask you.
So I wonder what that entails.
I'll ask you. This will not be a reference that Soup gets, but would you rather have a milkman fighting for you or somebody that fights in the saloons? You know, saloons are closed at times. A milkman has to deliver even on weekends. I'm taking the milkman.
Taking Jake the milkman.
Yeah.
Well, I hear, in the olden days, the milkman delivered a lot of stuff everywhere. Even out in the country quite a bit.
Oh, we told you last week.
Oh, and I'm going to continue this shit show because John's not doing his job. I had to look up something because he didn't talk to his pen pal in Australia about the Australian Rules tag team match. So that is just a match, a 6-man tag team match. That's all it is. See, I put that much effort.
I thought last week you said it was like the introduction to tag team wrestling, where you had a tag and
that's where they
tag team.
That's where they got it from, and that's what they called it. But now it's just a 6-man tag team match. That's all it is with normal tag team rules.
Huh? That sucks. Yeah, I mean, this is from guys. If you don't know what the hell we're talking about, this is like.
It's been weeks in the
four shows ago that we're still trying to figure out what the hell an Australian's tag team.
And John's still naming tag teams that were better than.
I have to edit that out every week.
Road Warriors.
Better than the Road Warriors.
Cameron Grimes against Keith Lee. Lee gets the win. It's setting up just for Cross to come out again. That's it.
I'm kind of excited to see what kind of match they'll have. They're both good characters to me.
Killing Cross or Karrion Cross or KKK Cross is all of a sudden a solidified killer in the world. And we'll talk about somebody else that is too here in the news at the end of the show. But that's debunked. He's never been a mercenary. That's already been, it's just a line coming out. He's not a mercenary. Don't look at him as like that. The other guy that we talked to,
he's done some weird shit.
We didn't talk to him yet, but I'd like to get an interview with this son of a bitch.
I'd pay for this one. This would be $100. I want an interview because we could just sit back. Our ratings would be great.
Take them forward.
Our ratings are great already. What are you talking about?
Well, they'd be even better for this one because it would be the shit show of all shit shows.
Legit. Go ahead. What do you have to say?
You guys have. I've enjoyed listening. You've said it all. I just kind of expected Keith Lee to win this match.
Yeah,
definitely.
Loomis is out of the ladder match, and I like the stipulations that are having. All the people that didn't get pinned in the other matches get to have matches, and the two winners move on. That's a different spin. I like that.
I'm a little disappointed, though. I like Loomis.
Yeah, but he's legit hurt.
Yeah. But it's just sad to see, I'm going to say.
I actually pick him to win it.
It's just throwing the wrestlers together. Let's see what they do with them. They're I'll say one thing for this title match or ladder match or whatever. They're throwing guys with a lot of different styles together, and it's either going to be really good or it's
not going to be Money in the Bank. So don't worry.
No, jeez.
John, that's a great point, Chad. That's really a great point. They are throwing a lot of guys in there with some different styles. And I get what you're saying. So it's either going to be really good or it's not going to be very good. We'll find out, what these guys are made out of.
Right.
I think it'll be good. I think it's going to be a very good ladder match. I think the talent that's in there is very good.
Well, it's NXT, so Vince doesn't have his 78-year-old dirty palms in this one, so it'll be good, just for that reason.
Phantasma drags out Fandango into the arena and says it's not about merch, it's not about culture. It is about culture. I mean, yeah, it's not about selling merch, it's about the culture. Breeze tries to help, and they decimate both of them, and then they call out Swerve. Man, I don't know. I thought he was going to get a different first opponent, somebody big out of this. I'm not a Swerve fan. That's all I got to say.
That's probably about what everybody else is thinking.
So I should put a cricket echo right there.
It's a good first opponent. Now, you don't want to give him too big of an opponent here at first. They're kind of building these guys up, so it stands to reason they've got to have some wins under their belt before they enter a major program.
But he called him out. Like, he called him out instead of Swerve calling. So I'm like, I would, if Swerve would have called them out, I think I would have been a little bit better.
It's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Next up, you have Pat McAfee coming in, being an announcer.
Pac-Man Jones is
Pac-Man Jones is back. For the Tegan Knox and Indy Hartwell match, this just got Pat to be on the announce table for what's next. Tegan's great. We've talked about how we love Tegan. Indy Hartwell's up and coming. She could be great soon. This shtick is... We'll skip the rest of that. If you want to talk about the women's match, couple words. Go ahead.
Yeah, very quickly, the only thing I'll say about it is in recent weeks, I've challenged Tegan Knox's Killer Instinct. She showed it last week in the tag team match. She showed it this week, too, which is why she got the win. I like her Killer Instinct.
Next up is Imperium defending the titles against the Undisputed Era. And, man, at first I thought, yes. And then I just kept hearing over and over, he can hear you, he can hear you, he can hear you. And I'm like, this is Adam Cole's just going to come over and punch him in the face. And that's what happened. And then Adam Cole got laid out. And then if you read spoilers and everything, you know that Pat McAfee is getting a match against freaking Adam Cole, which is blasphemy.
I'm going to say
bullshit.
I'm not excited for this match. I'm not. But if McAfee comes out and impresses
and punts something,
I will give him his props. But like I said, going into it, the whole thing on McAfee's show, you had a feeling it was a work, and this is just proof that it was. But like I said, I'm not excited, but if he impresses, I will definitely give him his props.
He's going to be just...
Don't hold your breath, Sue. Go ahead, Chad. I'm sorry.
That's all right. He's going to be just like all the other guys. They come into wrestling and think they can do what's going to be done. He's going to be blown up more than Bill Clinton with an intern in the White House.
Jesus Christ, you work on these all week, don't you?
It comes to me. He's the guru.
But Adam Cole's gonna make this match look good, as passable as he can, and he's just gonna take Adam Cole's way out of, probably a good old kick in the nuts and Shining Wizard and pin him.
That's what might help McAfee here, is that he has a good dance partner.
That's the only thing that's going to help him.
Yeah.
Any more words?
So this commentary, his commentary took away from not a great, but a fine women's match. And then this is just another example, whether it's LT and Bam Bam Bigelow, Mr. T and Roddy Piper, it doesn't matter. The athlete or celebrity that's brought in will always go over on the wrestler. And Adam Cole is brilliant. The guy went flying off the top of the cage through however many tables, and yet we're supposed to believe this kick laid him out, finished him. Hunter Hearst Helmsley had to come out and make sure everything was okay. Why? Because he was a kicker? I mean, come on. I'm so tired.
He was in the NFL.
He was. He was a coach,
He's from
right?
Pittsburgh.
I didn't even know who the hell this guy was until this shit started with Adam Cole. I heard the name, but who did he play for?
The Colts. The Colts was where he... big. But he kicked other places, too.
I think he was with the Colts when the Jets beat him in the 2011 playoffs.
I believe so.
When Nick Folk hit the game-winning field goal. So much for Pat McAfee kicking.
Right.
Give me Nick Folk any day.
Yeah, you'd bring it to Adam Cole.
I'd take Adam Bennett.
I'm not looking forward to this program at all, guys.
I think Jeff Reed.
Adam Cole is way too talented for this shit.
Jeff Reed would crush more than cans. Jeff Reed crushes sheets, towel dispensers when he gets drunk. All right.
Also, who's the baby face here? Very quickly, who's the babyface in this program?
It's got to be Cole.
No,
Is it though?
I would
no,
think.
it's McAfee by default because Cole's a dick, and no matter what,
But
people are cheering for Adam Cole like they cheered for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right, but are they? They made McAfee say that Adam Cole's small. He's an elf. He's great. That's fine, but that is heel talk. Is what I'm
But
saying.
that is
I'm with you,
doing
boy.
that is doing nothing more than regurgitating what Vince and everybody else has said, that Adam Cole's problem is he doesn't have a lot of size to him. That's all they're doing. They're regurgitating the knocks against him so Vince can get his jollies off on that too.
He's a bastard.
You know what? None of those four guys do, and yet there was a tag team match that was absolutely brilliant during all this. Wasn't the best? Certainly very, very good. And I want to mention O'Reilly, I think it was, did some nice neon belly transitions during the course of the match. A little ground and pound.
Did you know that? Have you gotten any word
Yeah.
from Jimmy Nuts back yet? Nothing.
He's nothing. Probably dodging me. I don't know.
Well, you haven't challenged him in like 3 weeks.
Do I have to challenge him every week?
Well, I mean,
Until he
it's just
answers,
like,
it might have to.
it's just like me having to challenge that fat bastard Jock Sampson to a match.
There it is.
I figure one of
There it
these
is.
days he might, develop some cojones.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
Good-
you know it.
good luck with that.
Maybe he will. Maybe he'll get off Brokeback Mountain with Chris LaRusso and actually get into the ring.
Real quick, I want to bring up, John, you said something about O'Reilly that made me think about Bobby Fish. I looked it up. He's 43 years old.
He's as old as me.
With that gray
No
hair he's got
way.
spotted, he looks like he's 63 to me. He's looking rough lately.
Yeah.
With all the injuries he's had lately, though. But that just blew my mind.
He'd still kick my ass.
Oh, I bet he'd kick mine as well, yes. But
Not John, though. John's trained in
No.
Taekwondo
Let-
Jiu-Jitsu.
Let's be serious here.
Yeah. All right, AEW. And AEW started off, and I left. I didn't switch the channel because I always watch AEW live. You guys know that. I can't watch 75 fucking people in the ring doing calisthenics and cartwheels.
well, you're lucky.
I
It
hated
became-
this match.
How many did you say? 75?
Yeah.
Luckily, it became 74 because I believe it was Dax Hardwood
Oh.
hurt himself and had to go to the back. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that many.
Right. But I'll tell you, my boys get the win.
And it was a much-needed win, in my opinion.
Bullshit. They're good. The Dark Order's what
I like the Dark Order, but they need wins to be taken serious.
they're the number one contenders, for Christ's sakes.
I thought the Dark Order would be the worst thing I saw on TV this week, and for once they weren't. And we'll talk about it. The shit that went on SmackDown with the 15 Marco stunts and the chainsaws.
Get
and
wait.
everything.
Yeah, that
Sorry.
wasted so much time. John, be happy you
You're right
didn't
about
watch
the
SmackDown.
stunts.
I hated this shit. I hate it. I can't stand it. I'll at least say, Aubrey Edwards, if she were the referee in this match, you can't call DQ because that's not the finish. I get it. But she would at least worked for it. Like, come on, I need 2 in the ring. Guys, I'm going to give you a count. This referee just stood in the corner. Just leave the ring. Make it an old school Sergeant Slaughter Iron Sheik match, have a seat at ringside, and run in just to make the count. If you're not going to do anything anyway, it's chaotic. I don't know who's
a big
legal.
point, though.
And the Young Bucks ran into each other. Did you guys see that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Turned around
great.
and smacked face to face. This shit was bound to catch up to them. I can't take it. I don't like it. I'm sorry.
In
You know what?
AEW,
Get
though.
online. People love it. So maybe it's us, guys.
No,
In AEW, though, it's a 10 count
Which I don't
between
like that.
tags. So
Dude,
some of that
You
chaos
could have
can
counted
happen.
to 40 some of these times.
Are you saying you like this?
I didn't mind it. I don't know if it's...
your age then.
Yeah, it might be, but overall, good win for the Dark Order. I hope they, like I said, keep building and become a very strong power.
They are a strong power. Stop being a dick. Chad, you're biting at the bit.
The Dork Order wins. Great. The Young Fucks screwed up. Even better. Next match.
Probably the best way of putting that. This was a... NXT was... AEW was good. I did like AEW. This is where I marked out. When the best friends show up in Trent's mom's vehicle, and then later, we'll skip ahead, later on the show, Pride and Powerful or Santana Ortiz or whatever the hell we're calling them, beat the shit out of Sue's van. This was unbelievable. This was...
Start to finish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
They're best friends. They're best friends, right? So one of the moms is going to drive them to the match. Brilliant. And then when they took Bats or whatever to the car, and I've used this analogy before, they just went Ryu from Street Fighter 2
Jesus.
on the car.
How?
But the best part for me was when Santana turned in the camera and he goes, "Yo, tell your moms we said what's good." I'm like, yeah, it's so gangster. I loved it.
The best part came actually when the best friends found out about the vehicle. They then said, "Yeah, well, sure, we'll fight you, da-da-da-da-da. But after we beat your ass, you have to apologize to my mom." On speakerphone. I went apeshit.
I was laughing when they were beating the shit out of the car, and they were on the, I guess, left-hand side of it, and he swung at the tail light and missed and
Kind of whiffed, yeah.
and kind of whiffed and almost fell on his ass. This was a good segment. This was surprisingly,
It was
I
like
enjoyed
3
it.
segments, but it was great. Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a good storyline. It wasn't stupid until the FaceTiming mom after dinner comment at the end type deal.
That's great.
But that was the only low thing of the whole segment to me. But it was still a good segment.
The best friends did get the win. They did have a match. Best friends did get the win in the match.
They're 13-4 this year.
Right?
They're 13-4.
I still think Trent carries that team so much. I'm not a Chuck guy.
I'm with you there. And I'm not a minivan guy. I got my driver's license in a
Sue's
minivan.
vehicle. It's Sue's vehicle.
You can't
See,
get
they
chicks
haven't
in a
explained.
minivan, man.
They haven't explained where the hell's his vehicle at. I mean, did he lose his license from being best friends? I mean, what the hell's going on?
We've done... The English professor and I have done some shit in white Chevettes or Buick Regals or...
But not minivans?
No, I've never had a minivan.
You don't want one.
I don't... All right.
I drove one.
I'm
Don't want one.
a soccer dad now. I'm looking into getting one. Carry the kid and dog and wife around. We can go get ice cream at Dairy Queen every night and ride around, look at trees, and say how great they are.
Well, if you let your dog around my dog any longer, we might have 10 dogs.
No fuck. It's been unbelievable here today. It's like the dog kennel match here in my house.
Hey, John, you remember the Porky's movies?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what the 2 dogs have been like today. It's like a walking horn toad around here. Mickey's going for the ears, any opening. It's bad. I mean, it makes Mark look normal.
It's okay, Kata.
All right, I'm moving along. MJF in his campaign room was unbelievable as well. Getting so pissed off that a poster is
Not level.
maybe at like 87 degrees compared to 90-degree level.
He doesn't pay these guys $150,000 a week to have crooked shit up on the walls. I would have fired the guy.
He had the leveler.
He
He gave him the tools, but did you also see the guy that didn't hang the poster correctly was picking out all the green M&Ms? I guess MJF doesn't like green M&Ms.
Where can John? Wait, I'll give you a minute. Where can I get one of these
No, go ahead.
signs? I want to put an MJF 2020 sign on
In the yard?
Yeah, right now. Chad's looking it up. That's what he's here for. He's looking it up. I will pay for one of these to put it right next to the Can Crusher sign. Let's do it.
He yelled at the one woman working for him, said something to the effect of, I can't remember exactly, but you're prettier if you smile, or it sounds better when you smile, or something, which is just so, especially now, today, it's so offensive, but it works so brilliantly. This and the segment before, I meant to mention for the segment before, these two segments with the best friends and the minivan and the mom and the guy running for political office who degrades everybody and knows all the sexist, chauvinist things to say. This is AEW, I'll say it again, once again, with their finger on the pulse of America and on the pulse of the American wrestling fan. This is why WWE continues to fail. They don't have it like they once did. AEW has their finger on the pulse of the American wrestling fan.
So Chad found this on Shop AEW. It's a pack for $24.99. You get a sign for your
yard sign, a yard sign, a button, and a 12 by 18 campaign poster.
It sounds like a deal for me.
Yep.
That's a great deal.
It's probably the best campaign going right now.
Without a doubt. Matt Hardy comes out to talk that he's just going to be Matt Hardy. No more floating around the ring, floating around the stadiums and everything. And then Sammy comes out and, let's just say it straight, holy shit. He just waylaid him with that chair.
Yeah. Our good buddy Al Snow said it. It's about making them guess what's real. And I don't know if what I saw was entirely planned and part of the show or if something went wrong, but it was brutal. First of all, the promo I thought was very good. This struck me as a company that trusts a proven commodity, a proven talent, to just take 4 or 5 minutes with the microphone.
I know.
And then the brawl afterwards was just vicious with the chair shot and a table spot. It was brutal.
That chair shot was pretty brutal. I was watching that thinking he was going to close it and throw it at him, but then he threw it at him open, and I'm guessing one of them legs caught him right in the mush.
That split way too much. It really did.
But at the same time, that 630 or whatever the hell he did off that stage, that was pretty impressive. Guevara.
Yeah, the chair shot, it's being said on quite a few sites that Guevara picked the wrong chair. They had a gimmicked chair, and he grabbed an actual chair and threw it at him. So Hardy did get caught with one of the legs. That was supposed to be the whole thing, but it was supposed to fall apart. So Guevara's got some backstage heat because he didn't grab the right chair.
And not good with Guevara just coming back from his sentencing.
Suspension,
yeah.
yeah.
Side note real quick, Team Vision Dojo, our gal, Can Crusher alum right now, Amber Nova, getting it taken to her right now.
Intergender match.
Well, the volume's not on, so I don't know who the hell the guy is, but you know, Nova's getting beat up pretty much right now.
I think it's Marco Stunt's brother.
He's
about
a little
the same
bit taller.
size,
He's
but
a
yeah,
little bit taller.
A little taller.
Moving
Probably from the Milkman.
Moving along, we have Silver and Reynolds against Cody and Matt Cardona. I'm going to be the dick. Here I am. Why do they carry their masks to the ring? What the hell?
I don't get it.
They carry them to the ring and then they put them on. You are not the fucking Killer Bees. Now that the kids are out of the house, you're not the fucking Killer Bees. You are not the same size that you can pull, Bee Magic. You look stupid. And I'm a fan of the Dark Order.
I was going to say, aren't you a fan?
Right, but you should wear them out of respect to the Exalted One.
It might be in the handbook that you hold it to the ring and you wait till
10 doesn't. Even
Valid.
Uno doesn't.
I'm sorry.
Maybe two need to be looked at to be part of the Dark Order.
One real quick. If you guys were in the Dark Order, what would you want your number to be?
69.
0 because I will have shot myself.
John, you'll appreciate this. I want 99, baby.
Nice.
I don't know.
He's on pace for 30 homers in a 60-game season.
I don't know if there's a 2. So John would probably be 2.
Wouldn't that be great?
Or 23.
23. Oh, yeah.
23.
23 more or so, yeah.
Wouldn't that be Grayson, though,
yeah.
number 2? Evil Uno, Grayson, then Silver and Reynolds are 3 and 4. I don't know.
Well, I don't know where 7, 8, and...
I don't know where
7.
6 is.
Yeah.
I think...
Well, 6 Pac. They're not going to bring that shit up.
Valid.
Yeah. This just gave Zack Ryder, Matt Cordara a nice win.
You can tell he's Cody's friend, because, damn, how much pyro do you get? Like...
Right off the bat?
Right, yeah.
It's your first match.
First match, and it looked like 4th of July times 10.
John wants to bring up a great point, and this is huge. And he asked me. Now, folks, we're very transparent here on Can Crushers. I will watch 8 to 9 o'clock of AEW from now on Wednesday nights. NXT is always taped; it always gets watched Friday or Saturday or whatever. But there's a family show now on Wednesday nights, and it takes precedence, and it's Big Brother. I can't get enough of it. This family sits down, we watch it. That's like one of the show, pretty much the only show that we sit and watch together.
You're going a fucking minivan, and now you're going to watch Big Brother. Turn in your man card and put your balls in the safe.
Okay. Well, they're usually in Kelly's purse anyway, so that's all right.
I know Jenny Plummer likes that show, and she's already got Justin's balls in a case, I think. So.
Right. Yeah.
Join the club, I guess.
I guess we're not going to be promoting IWC baseball today, are we?
Don't get me wrong, I love baseball.
Woo!
What the hell?
I love Jenny. There was no shot at Jenny.
It was a shot at Justin for sure.
He's not in charge, so who cares?
Tackleberry.
He is Tackleberry. We're off pace. We all good with this match?
Good win for Cardinals.
Well, to Soup's point, talk about getting the rub as soon as you show up. Which you got a lot of pyro for his intro. You notice, Soup, Cody was getting beat up and even got hurt early in this match. And who gets the hot tag? But Matt, is it Cordova? I'm not really sure. But
Corona.
This was his match to shine.
Corona.
What?
Oh, go ahead.
What's with the radio silencer?
See, yeah, this is what he sent me. He sent me a text. So what's up with radio silence? When he hits this move, does like the radio go blank for a while? And let me tell you, I was watching it Friday then, because I take Fridays off work because I can for foreseeable future. Ethan was listening to music upstairs, and when I was watching it on replay, Ethan's music stopped upstairs. So this shuts down music across the world.
Wow.
Even if you watch it on replay.
Like after the radio silencer?
Yeah.
Even in Long Island?
So he hit it, and then the music stopped.
Done. It's the day the music died.
Damn.
One thing I want to bring up, though.
We're idiots.
You know, they said Arn Anderson's the head coach of Team Nightmare, or whatever the hell it's called. Is Matt Cardona in the...
No, he's just Cody's friend right now. Not yet.
Then why the hell is he sharing the playbook? You see, he had the card. He's sharing it with Cardona. If I'm Cardona, you know, play nice for a little while and take that title off Cody.
You really punched your hand there, right there. By the way.
That sounded like it hurt.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I'll do it again.
Now you... That was way too loud. Alright, can we move on?
Please.
Absolutely.
We have, and this is going to take a while, we have the debate, the Super Wednesday debate of 2020, and Eric Bischoff, which was leaked earlier in the week, was the special moderator, but he did a great job. JR had to get into 83 weeks, 5 questions. My question is, and then we can talk about this, do you guys notice that the jacket is getting oranger each week? You know, as gross and as disgusting as it, wouldn't it get like moldy and mildewy? Why is the orange popping out even more?
John, please correct his English.
Why? What did I say?
The jacket is getting oranger.
It's correct.
Yeah, I don't think that's a word. I don't think so. I would more orange. I think.
There you go.
I don't think you could.
Go fuck both of yourselves. So.
I don't know. The redder, bluer. I think those. I know he might be right.
It's kind of getting peachier. I would think there'd be like mold on it by
It's
now.
like a
and
salmon peach. I
yeah,
agree.
like there you go.
I agree.
Salmon?
Salmon.
Tim Salmon.
Tim Salmon. John, save us.
That's an interesting move.
Nothing, John.
Oranger is a valid word. This was a great debate. I said Oranger is a valid. This was a great segment. Chris Jericho, I think, owned his ass for a while. I love the part where he said after he beats him, he's going to have to go work at a coffee shop and he's going to give him a difficult order and then not tip him. Just brilliant Chris Jericho. But Orange Cassidy kind of had the last say in this and made a great point. Like, you brought me out here to make fun of me, and that's fine. I don't care. But if you think I'm feeling the pressure, you're feeling the pressure because of all your accolades. What if you lose to me? And Jericho's got a lot on the line. He wants $7,000 for the coat. He's got pride on the line. Yeah, if he loses, what does he have to say after that?
I don't know. Chad, anything on this?
I loved it. This was the first time I think the whole Orange Cassidy thing fit. Not talking, not saying anything. You knew they were going to play that up. And then he's just like the guy that comes out of the debate team, hasn't said a thing all year, and then, just absolutely kills it in one statement. I mean, that's exactly what he did.
Are you guys going to be more aware about the rising sea level, though? In the world?
Yeah.
What a great point Cassidy brought up.
I need to cut up my plastic
bad for
Pepsi
the
bottles.
Bad for the turtles,
Yeah,
sea otters. A great point by Cassidy.
Tony talking to Britt. Britt picks Reba to be face Big Swole. If Big Swole wins, she'll get a match with Britt at some point.
Swole.
Swole.
That music.
Britt has kind of said she's going to be at All Out, so this is when it's going to happen in a couple months. Reba looks like one of us in the wrestling ring. Like, she's never wrestled a match. She did a great job selling this, but how much more do we need to talk about it?
Well, let me say this, and I want to make a comparison to J.J. Dillon, who was an accomplished wrestler. He said his best match was against a scrub on TV, against an enhancement talent guy with the Four Horsemen at ringside, because they were getting ready for War Games, and everyone was suggesting that Dillon was the weak link. Dillon wrestled a match on TV and would not have won without the help of, like, Tully Blanchard interfering and Ric Flair interfering. He looked terrible wrestling. He tried the snap suplex that Blanchard did and nearly tripped over his own feet. But Dillon says that was his best match because he wrestled like a manager. I like this match. I like what Reba did. She wrestled like an assistant who just got thrown into a match. She jumped up and down when she half-assed a move. My only problem with this is the commentary, and I think it might have been Taz, but I'm not 100% sure. In fact, I'm pretty sure it was Taz. They're going on about her accolades and accomplishments as a wrestler. Well, that doesn't really make sense if she looks like an idiot in the ring and you're talking about her past as a wrestler. That bothered me. Make me believe this is her first match. Guys, we were spoon-fed bullshit for years by Vince McMahon when we were growing up. We'll believe that she hasn't lied to us. We'll believe it. This is a different Reba than the woman who's got a long list of accomplishments.
Touche. Mm-hmm. As we're watching Team Vision Dojo right now, Amber Nova picks up the win, and she's got almost the size of a Crockett Cup in her hand right now. I don't know what she won. It's on silence. We should probably have that on in the background
sometime.
The title she has kind of looks like the one title Hogan had back in the 80s.
Yeah, a lot of them do the winged one. They do like a little knockoff of it. All right, then we get to the main event, and it's Moxley against Darby. And holy shit, Darby should have been dead when he got plastered into the ring post. Unbelievable. MJF gets involved. We knew that was going to happen. I at least knew that was going to happen. And after the match, you see Mox kind of being a big brother or a father figure to Darby, kind of just making sure he's okay. You know, hey, I beat your ass right now. You're a great competitor. Great match. It really was a great match in my eyes. And this MJF doing just a little bit just extends that storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have liked to, like I said, I kind of would have liked to have seen Darby win the belt. I think it would have been a good screw job. But this was a good match. I mean, it told the story. Moxley was troubled about beating his ass, but then he just like, okay, if I don't beat his ass, he's not gonna quit. So he did what he had to do, ended it, and he's like, it's better than that limp pecker storyline of Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. I'm sorry, I love you, and then kicks him in the fucking mush and everything like that. I like this better.
So,
I agree. I like Chad mentioned, I like that promo that Moxley had earlier in the night saying, he respected him, but the title was on the line, so he had to do what he had to do. The match was what it was. And, but also, am I the only one that pops when Justin Roberts gives the John Moxley? I pop for that.
Probably.
I do pop for that, though.
Probably. John,
this was
or should I say,
this was a bold move.
The English professor. See, I'm popping right now. That's awesome.
That is a great. Yeah, I'd pop for that. That's a great intro.
Put that in the
This was a bold move on Moxley's part. With Darby Allin already having suffered an injury, to go after the neck the way he did, he hit a pile driver that bounced Darby Allin off the mat and just like he was shot out of a cannon, and then went for whatever the hell he's calling it these days, dirty deeds.
Paradigm shift.
Paradigm shift, yeah.
Paradigm shift. So he had a couple of vicious moves there to get the win. Let's give a shout out to Wardlow. His interference was really good. If you watch the interaction there, the body language, and when he left, he just kind of put his hands up like, hey, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. That was all. The timing was beautiful with MJF running in, doing a move. Oh, all of a sudden, Wardlow's done speaking his piece and he leaves. Brilliant timing all the way around. And it's funny, earlier MJF was asked a question, what if Darby Allin wins? And he said, oh, yeah, I'd be really upset if that 130-pound guy won the championship.
Emo Kid.
Wait.
Emo Kid won, yeah.
Is it just me, guys, or does Wardlow just seem like he's itching to do more? He just looks like he has that look, like he wants to just start whipping the shit out of everybody, more than just a
I hope he does.
Suit and tie guy.
I was on the All Elite Wrestling website, and he's like 6-2, I think, overall. His only losses are a tag team match where he teamed with MJF.
In the Cody match.
And the Cody cage match. So he's doing good. Doing good.
All right, guys, this is the time where we're going to tell you about Collar and Elbow. We just told you about Collar and Elbow at the beginning of the show, but we'll tell you again.
That's my bad.
Hats, hoodies, tees, shorts, now all the apparel that you can imagine. John's got his sweet-ass Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth Head, and Al Snow shirt on tonight. It's looking great. And we're going to keep this quick and easy. Can Crushers, all one word, capital C in can, capital C in Crusher. You'll get some money off when you use that as a promo code. Here comes Al Snow, and we'll be back to talk about Saturday Night Live, 1986, the month of
Saturday
May.
main event.
Oh, yeah.
Not Saturday Night Live.
Both of them.
What the hell?
Both of them.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hi, this is Bulk Nasty, and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast. I'm not sure, just two guys cornered me, so here you go.
Welcome back to Can Crushers. It is I, the English professor from the County of Kings, speaking the English of the Queen. Mark is your host. We're with Chad the Guru, and this week we're joined by Soup, a.k.a. IRS. And in this next segment, we're going to discuss Saturday Night Live, as Mark said. So the first segment is what? Eddie Murphy does buckwheat.
Listen. I misspoke, but we have to stop that baloney of you talking gibberish or whatever. That's now in the intro. Just because you bring it back doesn't mean that you can just continue to say, I don't say, I'm the Mark and I'm awesome all the time.
Because you didn't bring it back and this is the first week you've had it, dumbass.
Thank you, Chad.
You're welcome, John.
What, Soup? Give me the finger.
I was just gonna say, isn't Pittsburgh in the county of Allegheny?
That's what I thought.
I don't know.
So, all right. We've been bantering about doing, a quick show or something, and this was a great show. Once I found out what happened on the show, within the first 5 seconds, because you guys know that I don't...
First 5 seconds, you should have been freaking out.
I was freaking out because there was a goddamn snake on it to start the MFing show.
Not just any snake. It was Damien.
It was. And before we talk about the card that happened, I believe, I don't know, I can look to my left right now, but she just left. I don't know what night that I watched this or whatever, but apparently at 2:30 in the morning one night, I jumped up screaming. Just screaming bloody murder. Do I remember what was going on? No. You guys, how many more times can I tell you I've had head injuries? And they stick with me. You can hear it with my speech half the time. Screaming bloody murder. And Kelly kind of coddled me and I went back to sleep and everything, but I
just remember that when you want her to coddle you again.
Right? She needs to coddle me a lot.
You'll be faking more than normal.
I really, was it Friday night? Thursday night? Thursday. Maybe, yeah, but whatever. I watched it one of those times, and God, Damien just scared the piss out of me.
It was Damien that scared you. Damn.
Yeah. But I don't remember what I did. I don't remember what the dream was or anything, but she said I was just screaming like a baby. So,
well, you whine like a little bitch. You either piss on the couch or sit and talk to the dog while he's eating, or...
To start the show of Saturday night's main event, May 1986, there's a lot of talking to start the show, and I was like, oh man, after you see the Damien Slither and everything, Hogan's group's talking, Funks are talking, and I'm like, oh man, come on, get the wrestling. I don't remember this being talky. We do get to a match. It is the Funks, which is Terry and Haas, not Dory, Haas, against Hogan and JYD and the Haiti Kid.
Haas, Funk being Jesse Barr,
yeah.
if I'm remembering right.
No, that's Jimmy Jack.
That was Jimmy Jack.
Haas is Dory Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then Dory never came to the ring until late. I thought he was going to be out there the whole time with them, but...
Jimmy Jack, to me. Jimmy Jack didn't come out till late.
All of them, yeah.
That's one thing I didn't understand. In the pre-match taping, Jimmy Hart said, we got an answer for the Haiti Kid. It's Jimmy John or whatever the hell his name is. Then he's not there. I didn't understand that.
This is one of John's favorite LJN figures, so stop picking on him,
I
guys.
didn't understand that. He was supposed to be there to match the Haiti Kid.
Is he the guy that owns the sandwich company?
Yeah, that we ate at WrestleCade.
Yes. Okay.
You guys get the pickle with your sub?
Of course.
Nice.
Always
nice.
Communist if you don't.
Jesus. It was a Hogan match. We'll leave it at that. John, what do you got to say? You picked this, so.
Well, yeah, two quick things. One is the music is not the same on the WWE Network. The music on the actual broadcast was just, it sucked you right in. And the music on the WWE Network is total suck-ass. It sucks. The other thing is, the reason I chose this was the last Saturday night's main event I watched when I lived in New York City before we moved to Italy, and I kind of lost track of wrestling for a little while until I moved back. So this one was one I remembered. It's one I stuck a tape in the VHS and recorded it. This is probably my favorite of all Saturday night's main events. Guys, the opening match, it isn't bad. Terry Funk takes some nasty bumps, a backdrop on the top rope, or on the floor. He ends up on a table at some point. This was just fun. I would not have guessed Funk and the JYD were as close as they are when I was a little kid. But they hated each other. Looking back now, you can see that they trusted each other a lot. But this was a fun match, man, with Hulk Hogan doing the JYD headbutts and JYD tearing his shirt like Hulk Hogan. There were no two guys more over than Hulk Hogan and the Junkyard Dog. That crowd was electric. They wouldn't let him get to the ring.
I was always a bigger Hillbilly Jim fan. I'm telling you, I really was. I already said this one time that if I could be anybody, it would be Hillbilly Jim because he just rode the coattails of some of these guys. No disrespect to him, but I would have liked to see Hillbilly in this match because of that. You're laughing right now, eating your cookies and milk there, fancy boy, but I'm just saying that nothing against JYD. I loved him. But I was a Hillbilly Jim fan. It was because the LJNs made the... You're going to fight with me. The LJNs made Hogan and Hillbilly Jim together. That's why...
You're right. But the point of this was JYD against the Funk Brothers, looking for revenge from WrestleMania II. This had been going on since, Saturday night's main event, September, October, and Jimmy Hart on the water slide against JYD. This has been going on for a while, so... it was about JYD versus the Funks, and he got Hogan as his partner. So if you don't want one of them in there, if you want Hillbilly Jim in there, it would have to be JYD and Hillbilly Jim, because the whole point of this was JYD and the Funks.
Perfect. Hillbilly Jim. Because the next match is, I don't know, Chad, want to say anything about this match?
Well, I remember JYD. I liked him more so when he was in Mid-South in that lot trimmer, and he was, as a African-American wrestler, more over in Louisiana and that area than anybody. Not over than Hogan, than anybody has ever been literally in wrestling in that area. He was the reason that they packed the Superdome, even though, well, he skirted out and went to WWE because he got a huge contract, and they put, I don't know if it was a snowman in or something like that. But JYD, Bill Watts, went on record and saying JYD was the reason that wrestling stayed in the South like that. He had literally millions of fans. And he was just, sad that his real name, Sylvester Ritter, crashed into a bridge pylon, and that's what took him out of here. But he was a good guy. He was an entertainer that had enough wrestling that you didn't hate him.
Touche.
I have in my notes here when I watched this that I'm surprised he wasn't a world champion. When people talk about people who should have been world champions who never were, people bring up Razor, people bring up Piper. But I think of JYD. I feel like he would have been a good world champion. I
don't disagree with that.
This was before my time, of course. But just watching this, I could only 6 years. Only 6 years before I was born. It's okay. But I feel like, like you said, Chad, he was over, and I feel like, even a short run, just give him that world title, I feel like it would have been interesting to see what he would have did with it.
Next match, I'm going to instantly defer to Soup to introduce the next match because as soon as he got to the studio today, he said his favorite part was part of this next match.
I enjoyed this next match. It was King Kong Bundy versus Uncle Elmer. And before the match, they had the official weigh-in. King Kong Bundy, also Bobby Heenan was there because he was there for the weigh-in. King Kong Bundy weighed in at 468, I believe, and he called him Uncle Elmo, which made me smile and laugh. And then Uncle Elmer comes up for his weigh-in, and I lost it when he had a bucket and it said Uncle Elmer's fried pig parts. I lost it. It was hilarious.
And he didn't want to give them up because he's like, I'm going to eat these before the match anyway, so I'm not.
Because I think he ended up weighing 438 or 434 or something to that effect. And Heenan got on the mic and he says, well, this is what you get when you take 200 pounds of manure, 200 pounds of cellulite, and 38 pounds of fried pig parts. You get this guy. It made me laugh.
Biggest
it was hilarious.
in the world today.
Yeah. Oh, I laughed for that.
Would you want me to believe that Uncle Elmer was lighter than King Kong Bundy? The guy was huge.
If you think about it, though, muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah.
So Bundy might have more muscle.
You're telling me Bundy had more muscle?
He was a little more compact than Elmer.
We met him.
I wonder where he got Bundy. Yeah, we did. Good guy. I wonder where he got Elmo, because Elmo was not a Sesame Street character yet at that point, 86. So I wonder if he just screwed up and meant to say Elmer and called him Elmo.
I think I'm going to say Ray Stevens maybe or whatever had that song The Streak. They think they call him The Streak, the Boogadad, where his old lady was running around naked. And I think that guy's name, the husband of the lady that liked running around naked, is The Streak. You guys don't know the song I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
I think his name was Elmo in it. I think.
Oh.
It might be a stretch. If you guys know it, you send us an email at CanCrusher69. Tell me I'm an idiot. But, Chad, this match was huge.
This was just a match of two fat bastards.
I think it was 90 seconds start to finish.
Too long.
SD Jones deserved more time than this match with Bundy.
Outback Jack.
Anybody.
Nothing, John?
Uncle Elmer had heat. Because Hillbilly Jim tells a story. Believe it or not, after this, they were supposed to work a program. These two guys. And the reason it became Bundy versus Hillbilly and then the Midgets a year later at WrestleMania 3, that ran as long as it did, that was supposed to be Bundy and Elmer. Elmer just no-showed some house shows. And there was one where they called Hillbilly Jim and said, he's not here, we need you here ASAP. They paid for his flight in. Hillbilly gets there just in time for the match. Guess who walks in? Uncle Elmer. And they said he was done. Like, they let him go out and do his thing, but he was done after that, and then Hillbilly Jim took over the spot. But Bundy and Elmer, theoretically, was supposed to run for about a year. Imagine a year of that shit.
Shoot promos on what the hell is it, YouTube. You can get, I know exactly what John's talking about. You can get a Hillbilly Jim career, whatever, long interview or whatever, where he talks about this. So yeah, Elmer was supposed to be in there more, and it's just like,
thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God he decided not to wrestle.
But at the end of the match, I was surprised to see a young Tim White as a referee.
Oh, Jesus.
I remember growing up, seeing this guy trying to off himself after he got smeared in the Hell in a Cell match. I forget what match it was, but he got smeared into the cage.
He was an alcoholic.
Yeah, all that. Him and Josh Matthews running around. But he was in the wrong position. You could see that Elmer almost kind of kicked out, but if you got 468 pounds on your head and shoulders, I guess you ain't getting that shoulder up either.
The next match, Adorable Adrian Adonis against Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. As matches go, This was my favorite match of the card. It really was. I remember Adonis. I really do. The leather and lace one, and then this portion of Adrian Adonis, and leading up to him fighting Piper and losing his hair, and then pretty much having his terrific accident right after that. This was a great match. I really love this match. I'm going to say this, and it's because I don't give Adonis enough love. He was underrated. He definitely was. He could have, I don't want to say carried the torch, but he could have been somebody that had, run with the title for a while. Either way, the leather one or this one, I loved. This brought me back to man, I want to go back and watch more Adonis matches. Orndorff, we know. We've talked about Orndorff a couple of times. We love Orndorff. He's got the physique. He's got the look. All that. But more props to Adrian in this. The main event was great, but this was my favorite match.
What was when Adonis teamed with Jesse Ventura? What the hell were they called?
East-West Connection.
East-West Connection. That's what I remember. Adonis, trimmed down more. He actually wrestled a lot then, but he was a good. He could have been a short-term champion.
Transition, yeah.
I hate to say this, not just because I hate Hogan and I may sound biased, but if Hogan had not been as popular or even been in the picture then, can you imagine the guys that could have and probably would have had the title?
We're going to talk about two soon.
Both of these guys, Adonis, Orndorff, oh my God, he should have. He should have been one that upset Hogan, gave him a couple of pile drivers on the concrete, gave Hogan a couple of months off, and then Hogan comes back and beats his ass. Orndorff, right along with Ricky Steamboat's time in the WWF, Orndorff should have had the title on him.
See, you guys are fans of Orndorff?
Go ahead, Steve.
You guys are fans of Orndorff? I don't know what it is about him. I don't enjoy him, honestly.
You don't like that beer?
Oh my God.
John, what do you got?
So you guys mentioned these other people that could have been champion, should have been champion, and you know this, but this was obviously in an era when not everybody won belts, when you held the world championship for years at a time, with a couple of exceptions of transitional champions like Koloff and the Sheik. You had Bruno, you had Bob Backlund, you had Pedro Morales, and you had Hulk Hogan, and all these guys held the belts for years at a time. Even the Intercontinental title. Honky Tonk has the longest reign, but prior to that, there are 4 reigns, 2 by Morocco and 2 by Morales that came pretty close. So in those days, championships were measured in years. Little trivia, Adrian Adonis, you mentioned the leather and the spikes. Do you remember the emblem he had on his jacket and on his boots? Anybody?
No.
No.
New York Yankees.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, that
the New York Yankees emblem on
Well, moving on.
As far as this match goes, this was a very good match. Two really qualified guys. This moved into Adonis then challenging Hogan because he won this match by DQ. Orndorff wouldn't stop choking him on the ropes. Adonis wrestled in a dress in this match. Let's not forget. Orndorff tore his dress off, choked him with it, kept driving his knee to his back, threw the referee out of the ring. All hell broke loose. He grabbed the chair. He got DQ'd. This led to Adonis challenging Hogan for the rest of the summer. It led to Adonis kind of driving a wedge between Hogan and Orndorff on the Flower Shop, and then eventually Orndorff turning on Hogan in July or August, depending when they aired it, I don't know. But this was an important match. This shifted into a couple of other different stories.
Okay, so with Adonis wearing the dress, Ronnie Garvin wore a dress before as Miss Atlanta Lively. Who did it better? Who did it more justice? Which looked better?
Adonis.
Honestly,
Adonis.
Probably John and I.
Well, I don't want to know about you guys wearing dresses.
We were.
You're not going to believe this. I talked to my mom about this today.
What?
I don't want to go off on a tangent. My mom called me and remembered the story about her dresses.
Literally, we'll tell this story real quick. We decided to take a group picture together, and all the men, because that was our group name in high school, men. How original is that? We all wore dresses for a whole day at school and ran around because we won a volleyball tournament, is what it was. So then we decided to wear dresses, and your mom was the only one with dresses, and you pillaged her closet without her knowing. Literally just...
Well,
do you admit, Sue, that you're related to him?
Not in public.
Okay. Might have to edit that
Just
out.
on air.
Yeah.
What brought this up was we used those dresses in a play because we were supposed to wear dresses in a play, and then we just got ridiculous and just wore them throughout the whole day in school and got pictures taken with them. But my mom had a bunch of sundresses, so we used them in the play. And what brought this all up was she went to buy a couch because Constables is closing. And I think Paula listens to our show.
Yes.
And she said, do you remember that girl? She was going to play with you guys. And I was like, oh, yeah. She said, well, I think it's her daughter or grandpa or whatever at the store. And I said, yeah, Constable. She goes, yeah, I bought a couch. And they said, that reminds me. She was going to play with you guys, and you guys, you took all the dresses out of my closet. I'm like, oh, my God, I forgot about that.
It's in the yearbook. Not that I've looked at the yearbook for 30 years yet, bro, but I'm just saying that it's in the year. Our stupid picture is in the yearbook of us stacked in a pyramid. Names I could throw out: Matt Retigliano, Brad Benazzuni, Josh Quattrone, Bill Adio, Chris Goodrew, me, you, Bones Lorenzo. All wearing dresses like jackasses.
Guy in a dress named
Bones. Right. And we ran around the hall like 3 or 4 times, and teachers just got sick of us. And that's the assholes that we were and still are. At least I am.
But to answer Chad's question, Adonis worked better. He put on a lot of weight, and Vince said, you want to put on a lot of weight and not fit the mold of the guys I have today? We're going to make your hair blonde and put you in pink leg warmers and a dress. So what? Adonis owned it. That was a great gimmick. It was rough. He got some cheap heat from fans calling him horrible names, but he owned that gimmick. Went to the bank with it, as they say.
We had a segment, and I'm just going to bring it up, a Hogan flashback segment. They just wanted to show some WrestleMania II stuff, Hogan and Bundy's match. But the next thing up on the docket was the Dragon against the Snake, which they were pushing all night. This match didn't start. This is once I saw which one, because I didn't remember. John said we're going to watch May '86, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'll tell the guys, and we'll watch it. I didn't know what the hell I was watching until I saw the Snake, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know which one we're going to see now. Roberts is out waiting for Steamboat. Match doesn't start, and tattooed on the concrete floor, Steamboat's out for months.
Yep. Yeah, that was vicious, man. I think it's, what is it? What do they call it? The dragons and snakes are enemies in astrology, Chinese astrology. They are traditionally enemies. So this was brilliant. You had Ricky Steamboat on his way to the ring, waving to the fans, and Jake Roberts clotheslines him once, clotheslines him twice, boom, DDT on the floor. And I remember when he came back, he still had a massive lump on his head. So I don't know if they screwed this up and he really hit, but they say he was out. He was absolutely out of it. That was vicious. That was crazy for the times. And he put the snake on him, and Ricky the Dragon, Steamboat's wife, is crying in the front row.
Bobby Heenan brought up a good point after Steamboat got knocked out, that his wife would have to nurse him back to health. And damn, anytime I get knocked out, Mrs. Steamboat, you can be my nurse. Anytime.
Chad is struggling right now with this apple cider beer we got from Southern Tier. And it's a honey ginger, and he just... I'll give him another Smirnoff, but he says he needs to finish it.
I gotta finish it. That would be alcohol abuse to not do that.
You don't have the COVID, I'll drink it.
This match, I didn't realize this was the, Steamboat with the coconut-sized lump on his head type match. This was bad. They were, Steamboat didn't tuck his head. Jake and Ricky have both talked about this in interviews. Steamboat didn't have his head kind of buried more towards Jake's armpit. Mm-hmm. He had his head down more, and literally on the original footage of this, in the replays, if you can find the original stuff, you can hear his head smack off of the concrete. That's how bad it was. And he was out. Steamboat was legitimately out, not moving. It wasn't planned to be this way. But yeah, this was a thing that brought Steamboat was out, and then he had to relearn speech. They brought that in. Oh, wow. Not that that part was real, but they played this storyline. And as much as Jake Roberts is an asshole these days and the things that he's done, this was when Jake Roberts was at his best as an evil son of a bitch.
Oh, I agree. I was going to bring up within a year, and I know this one was more shoot than storyline that Ricky actually got hurt. Within a year, Steamboat had to do 2 injury. There's my air quotes for the show. Storylines, because less than a year later, I know this took place like right after WrestleMania II, but WrestleMania III, he's got Hogan. I mean, he's got Savage in the match of matches that we have, I'm trying to be couth, spewed about, that we love. Back-to-back years, Steamboat is a head injury and then a throat injury.
Yeah, I was
and
going
he
to say,
sells
when
them
they
great.
brought the ring bell out in the throat. Because I was going to say, what was the payoff in this match? Did he ever get retribution on Roberts?
He did. A lot of these were house shows. Your pay-per-view every year was WrestleMania. That was it. This was before SummerSlam. This was before Survivor Series. They would have major events at bigger arenas. So, like, they had a match in Toronto where Jake Roberts had trained. This is going to sound ridiculous. He had trained in martial arts. So no matter what Ricky Steamboat did, Jake had an answer. He tried to chop and kick, and Roberts had all the wax on, wax off, paint the fence, paint the deck moves. Steamboat couldn't land any moves. But he wins with, I think, a crucifix, if I'm not mistaken. And then they had the following Saturday night's main event in September was what they called the, Gene Okerlund called the rubber match. Because the first match, Jake gave him the DDT on the floor. Second match was in Toronto at the big event where Hogan wrestled Orndorff. And their third match was the following Saturday night's main event, included the feud. One other thing I want to mention very quickly about this match. It's an interesting point. When Jake had the stake and was scaring everybody away, all the officials, you had Tony Gurria, you had Rene Goulet, and Bobby Heenan goes, "Who's that guy think he is sticking his nose in?" Acting like he didn't know who he was, it was Blackjack Lanza, whom he managed and who actually gave the induction speech for Bobby the Brain Heenan when Heenan was inducted into the Hall of Fame. I should say the induction speech. He inducted Bobby Heenan into the Hall of Fame. So that was pretty neat. Bobby Heenan acting like he didn't know who the guy was when they were obviously very close friends.
Next matchup is the Bulldogs.
Never realized.
Against Sheik and Volkov. I don't think it was announced that it was a best out of 3. I don't think that the Fink knew it was a best out of 3 because once they got the quick win in match 1, Fink strutted into the ring with the titles. And the ref trying to push him out, saying, no, it's 2 out of 3. And I'm like, I thought for a moment, I'm like, do I? And I can't remember shit. We've known this on Can Crushers. And I'm like, did I miss a quick, turnaround title reign from the Bulldogs to the Sheik and Volkov back to the Bulldogs that I don't remember? Because I thought the Bulldogs had it for 6 months. or so, right?
About that, 6 or 8 months, yeah.
This is what they wanted at WrestleMania.
Yeah, with that
They
headbutt.
showed- yeah.
Yep.
That, what a finish that was. I didn't expect that when they showed the replay of that. Davey hits him with that headbutt, and he goes flying off.
That was Dynamite, actually.
Or was it Dynamite? that did
Yeah.
it? That was something.
This match, I had a hard time, and I'll be honest, watching it. I see Dynamite Kid and realize, or knowing what we know now about his injuries, this was one of the first matches where he was starting to not be able to wrestle, and you see they kept him out of the ring quite a bit. There's reviews talking about the guys in the locker room just, as close to tears as you could, because the guy, his body was starting to fail him at this time. And, holy shit, what an athlete.
He's got a great book. I'll plug that real
Yeah,
quick. If
that-
you don't have that book, find the Dynamite Kid. The Kick book, too, is great. But the Dynamite Kid book is even better.
Yeah, great book. I got it when I got it in on, a Wednesday, and I was done with it by Thursday morning. It was just one of those that you couldn't put down. And if you want to see something that's going to bring tears to your eyes, look up Dynamite Kid Tiger Mask talking or something like that on YouTube. And it's Dynamite. It's one of the last known videos of him sitting there in his wheelchair, and Tiger Mask, the original Tiger Mask that Dynamite had such phenomenal matches with, was talking to him on the computer, and Dynamite realized who he was. He wasn't able to talk at that time, wheelchair bound. He was close to dying at that point.
Yeah.
And just to see the emotion coming out of him, and he realized who it was and everything. That just such a. I love Dynamite Kid. Him, Chris Benoit, the smaller guys. Just sad the way he ended.
I agree there. Everything I see of the Bulldogs, being younger, I didn't grow up watching these guys. I saw Davey
You would have
in
loved
the late
Matilda.
90s.
You would have loved Matilda.
That's what I've heard you wrote letters to Matilda. But just what I've seen over the years growing up and going back in time, looking at older stuff, they were ahead of their time. And even Lou Albano kind of mentioned it in the pre-match interview they had, where he called them gymnastic wrestlers, where they would fit in perfect nowadays with all the acrobatic shit and jumping and spinning and diving, all the shit they do nowadays. They'd fit in perfect. So they were ahead of their time. And, I'm with you, Chad. I like guys like Dynamite Kid, Benoit, Owen Hart, all those guys. They were, smaller guys, but they were great in the ring, and that's what I like to see.
John, your thoughts?
We've talked on this show before about could the wrestlers of yesterday do what the wrestlers of today are doing, and Ric Flair's always said yes. He said that Ricky Steamboat could have done anything the wrestlers today are doing. There just wasn't a call for it back then. We've seen Ricky Morton kind of get back in the ring and do some things that he didn't even do when he was wrestling. To your point, Sue, the Bulldogs would do a move where, let's say, Davey Boy Smith had Valentine in a gorilla press or fireman's carry position. Dynamite Kid would climb the ropes, jump from the ropes onto Valentine's back and stick the landing. Then off of Valentine's back, who's on Davey Boy's shoulders, jump off and land the diving headbutt on Brutus Beefcake. They were really ahead of their time. After this match, during the course of the night, they mentioned it was 2 out of 3 falls. Maybe they didn't mention it during the match. I don't know. Maybe Fink dropped the ball on that. Mark, he dropped the ball years ago when I went to see Rocky Johnson, Tito Santana, Ivan Putski. He didn't mention it that night in Brooklyn.
Right.
I thought they beat the Samoans, and then boom, it's 2 out of 3. Fink ruined my night. I love this match. I loved Sheik and Volkov as a team, the finesse of the Sheik, the power of Volkov. They win a quick one early on. Davey Boy never made a tag. They beat the shit out of him in the second fall, but Davey Boy rolls up Volkov, and then in the end he makes a tag to Dynamite, who gets his ass kicked right away. And then when the ref's not looking, there's a blind switch, no tag. I think he rolls up Sheik this time, but I thought this was a great tag team match. It's a shame we couldn't see more out of Dynamite Kid. But Mark, you mentioned you thought there may have been like a quick title change because you didn't know it was 2 out of 3 falls, and then it went back to the Bulldogs. Sheik and Volkov were slated to be champions again. They were supposed to beat the Bulldogs. And this is what I hear, so who knows what's true, but Bulldogs wouldn't do it. So they said Stud and Bundy, which would have made sense. They said they wouldn't do it. They were determined to put over their brothers-in-law. They said the only guys we lose these belts to are the Hart Foundation, and that's obviously who ended up winning. But there were a couple other choices, and Sheik and Volkov were supposed to have a second title run. I always loved them as a team. They were very believable.
Not that there's anything wrong with the Hart Foundation, but all right.
No.
Let's wrap this one up real quick and head to our WWE and news segment. But what are we going to grade this as? 6 beers. It's only an hour and a half show. On the network, it's really only like an hour and 5 minutes. But, hey, we covered it. So, Soup, you're our guest. So, what do you give this out of 6?
Overall, I wrote in my notes I'm going to give it a 4 out of 6. Like you guys said earlier, some of the work in the ring was very rough. With, Bundy and Elmo, yeah. But overall, compared to today, the work in the ring was rough. But the storytelling back then was 10 times better than it is today. And being a younger guy, I was born in 92, watching this from 86, like I said, the storytelling just drug me in. Just seeing some of these guys, seeing Roberts heel it up was awesome. Seeing JYD and Hogan, playing to the crowd was awesome. I loved Heenan on commentary. I grew up in the late 90s and watching WCW, and he was great on commentary. He was still great back there in the 80s here in WWF. And I also enjoyed listening to Vince on commentary, so that, was also good for me. So, yeah, overall, I'm giving it a 4 out of 6.
Chad?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Soup on this one. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 6. I try not to compare it to these days because there's just too much difference. I don't want to say difference in talent because there was great guys back then and there's great guys now. But this show, what stood out for me, it had a little bit of everything in there for everybody. It had wrestling. It had your larger-than-life children-like characters. It had your, big guy Hogan on it. It had definite heels, definite baby faces. This was just a complete show to me. A little bit of something for everybody.
I'll go next, John, real quick, because you're going to gush. I echo these guys, and I would have given it a 4.5 or a 5, but too much WrestleMania II replay for me. I know it was a show right after it, but back then you could have done it on a Saturday. You could have done whatever, the Saturday morning ones or whatever. But so I'm going to go with a 4 as well. I echo what both of these guys said. Some of the in-ring stuff was, but the stories when we were children, we talk about the lengthy title reigns and when titles meant something back then. And even if the Bulldogs would have lost it, it would have at least made sense. You have Dynamite that's hurt, that, these, veterans of the Sheik and Volkov getting the win. That's a storyline that, continuing and everything. I didn't know about the Elmo Bundy thing. Thank God that didn't happen. So all of that. So I'm going to go with a 4 as well.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 12 so that I raise all of your scores up to 6, so that it's 24 out of 24. No, all right. I'm going to give it, honestly, I'm going to give it a 6. In my heart of hearts, I would give it a 4, but just for all the reasons I mentioned earlier and for the nostalgia of it, I love this one, guys. This is a 6 for me.
So overall, at 18, so divide that by 4, we're giving it a 4.5. I'm all right with that.
Yep. Is John hanging out with Matt Riddle?
He is. He really is. All right, guys, when we come back, we'll talk about maybe Matt Riddle, if he makes the cut. We'll talk about some of the news and some killers that's hanging around the wrestling organizations and I don't know, whatever else pops up in our minuscule minds right now. So we'll be back in a second.
Tune in for a tune-up. You're listening to Can Crushers with Amber Nova.
Welcome back, Can Crusher Nation, to week 2 of Shit Show.
Right.
We got Soup, Mark, John, Chad, Miggy the Humper, Kata,
Kata the Taker.
We're all here.
We are. Man.
Jeez Louise.
You're missing out, John.
That's a welcome back. That's a welcome back to Can Crushers, and you've ever seen before. Guys, real quick, IWC took place yesterday, Base Brawl. It is not up on the network yet. You can get the IWC network for only $9.99. It'll be up, they say, within a couple days, but 2-to-1 Media busts their ass. I would guarantee it's going to be up by Monday. So it's a great show. We'll cover it at some point. Imagine
any results?
I don't have any results. I have not been on social media all day today. I've actually been spending time with you, and you know that.
I know, same here.
My phone has not been in my hand, and I'm okay with it. I do miss my video games today. I do. Imagine Wrestling has a show next Saturday in Altoona, depending whether if it's going to be inside or outside. But the big match is Spencer Slade against Bill Collier, Part 2 for the Heavyweight Championship down there. That should sell itself, folks. So if you're around the listening area of Altoona, Pennsylvania, get your asses there. Support Imagine. There's some issues going on with the Tag Team Championship because the good neighbor, John, has a broken jaw, so he cannot be in the match. So I think they're going to use the Freebird rule, and the other part of the neighborhood is going to help defend that against the guys. Braden Elliott that we have out on the show, and the Alpha Male will get a kind of rematch in the tag team. A lot of good shit's going on Imagine Wrestling, guys. I'll spill this. Ricky Morton was down there giving them guys a seminar. If Ricky Morton's coming to any place to show and help the young talent, it's a fucking great organization. Right. Support them.
Yeah, you gotta look up School of Morton. Follow Ricky on whatever social media platform. They put on a show. I believe it's about once a month. Straight from their training facility and that. It's
like Ricky's garage.
Yeah, but it's a good show, and it really shows just how good he is, how he works with the different talent, the different levels, of talent, so to speak.
All right, do we put the timer on WWE this week and give it 5 minutes for anybody to bring up anything you want to talk about, and then we can touch on the news?
I got some notes from the week. Yeah, this. Honestly, I need...
All right, 5 minutes. We're at 3:10. We're at, ready, 3:15, starting now.
We had these plans of having a family cookout, and you asked me to be on the show this week, so
You invited yourself.
For the first time in a couple months, I've sat down and watched every show. Raw, AEW, NXT, SmackDown. Honestly, I normally miss SmackDown. I'll catch some of Raw, and I catch most AEW and some NXT, because those are honestly the two best shows going on nowadays. But this was the first time in a few months that I caught all four. Raw Underground. What did you guys think of Raw Underground?
I liked it. I liked it for what it was. It was just, I don't want to say a shit show, but it was something different,
and it stood out.
It's the 2020 version of Brawl for It All. Somebody's going to get
hurt. How would you feel if the women got into it?
I would hate it even more.
Seriously?
I am the bearer of the women flag.
Yeah, I feel like this would be cool to see the women get in there and beat the shit out of each other.
Not at all. I hate it.
You like Sonya.
I love Sonya.
I know she's on SmackDown, and this is a Raw thing, but she's got that MMA background. It'd be cool to see somebody like Sonya get built up from this.
This is going to be a shit show. We're going to fight right now. The other two can just sit. This is going to be the Hurt Business running this for a while, and
unfortunately, but it has potential.
No, it is. What happened on SmackDown in the last fucking 12 minutes is we're going to jump around. What the hell are they called? The Redemption?
Retribution.
Yeah.
Marco stunts 6 little brothers.
See, they showed up on Raw.
It blew up a transmitter.
And I was like, ooh, this is interesting. Something different again. But then they showed... But hold on.
You need to cut his
Hold
neck.
on.
This is
Hold on.
This kid's young.
At first, I was like, ooh, maybe they could do something here. But I should have known better, because by Friday, when I'm watching SmackDown and I see them all in the ring, I agree with Chad here.
12
They're
minutes.
all small. And that lost me. So I'm already over this.
I mean, the
Monday, I was intrigued. Friday, I hated it.
fucking masks didn't even fit them.
Right?
There was wrinkles in the mask. How the fuck do you not fit your head in the mask?
The only thing I did like is they brought a goddamn chainsaw to the ring and cut the ropes.
And that's one more thing I liked. It was funny, you guys picked an event where the Funks were involved, and then we got Chainsaw Charlie
Compare them to that.
coming out this week.
You know, I'm going to say this, and I'm glad everybody has a drink, and John has his cookies and ice cream or whatever the hell he's eating. But I hate the Young Bucks.
I hate the
I wanted the Young Bucks to come out and kick these little bastards' asses. Like all 6 of them. Like all 6 of them added up probably didn't even weigh as much as the Young Bucks.
Right.
All right.
So who do you think the women are?
I don't.
There are 2 women involved.
Did anybody notice anything with the ropes?
They got cut.
When they cut? No shit, Sherlock.
They got pretty small.
What the hell? Did anybody notice the ropes?
No.
John?
He didn't watch it.
Oh. Sue? Notice the ropes?
Yeah,
I saw
I
they
told
got
you
pretty
guys.
small afterwards.
They are actual rope. They're not cables. WWE doesn't use cables anymore. That's why you don't get the bounce off the ropes. Is good. Or the natural bounce. Just wanted to point that out. WWE doesn't use the cables anymore.
I'm going to pull up my notes and scan them. Raw. Of course, Bayley and Sasha, great promo as role models against Asuka. Revenge is sweet. And then Baszler punches Sasha in the face. Cool. The Iconics, okay, yep. John's boy, Scotty McQuarrie, didn't do anything.
Patio furniture.
Yeah.
What did Baszler and Nia injure me, Jax?
But Asuka came out and got involved, so that ruined that match. The Underground pissed me off.
Montez Ford got poisoned.
Yeah, he got poisoned.
I don't get that at all.
You know, Selena Vega, I wholeheartedly support her. I do not see such a sweet young lady doing something like that.
The Firefly Funhouse on SmackDown just threw Alexa to... That's it. We're not even going to use her because Braun's like, I've never liked her. I'm a monster.
I didn't get that.
So did Braun turn heel? Is Braun the bad guy and now all of a sudden we like the Fiend?
Well,
yeah, is this a double switch?
Look at what Alexa did in the ring because you thought that...
Caressed the Fiend's face?
Yeah, I mean, oh my God. You know, I never wanted to be the Fiend anymore in my life, but I think she's going to turn the evil bitch. I still think that's where they're going to turn her, and she's going to be with the Fiend.
And finally, Chad, we've gone over our goddamn 5 minutes as we normally do. I thought you would bring up that Mandy got a haircut, and that makes you happy.
No, the longer hair. She could look good with a bald fucking head. That's not her problem. The long hair. I like the longer hair more. Sorry.
All right, we're going to bring John back into this conversation because now we'll touch on some wrestling news. And as soon as I saw this, I threw it up on Facebook. I texted it out to the masses, and I'm like,
Marty Jannetty?
What the fuck?
Yep.
And let's stop here for a minute because John and I have had a run-in with Marty Jannetty. And I want John to
Did you guys help drag the guy into the...
No, I don't even know.
River?
At the bowling alley?
Pedophiles.
What the hell?
Yeah. But
fucking, I'm learning all kinds of shit about you two.
John, I didn't want his autograph whatsoever. Not at all. John was like, I'm going to get him. He was the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, So we were the big event.
Shawn Michaels
in New York. And John, touch on this. Just touch on it. Don't go.
That's the wrong words to use with this scenario. And Marty Jannetty. But go ahead, John. Have fun with it.
Go ahead and touch on it.
Just do a little dick tap like the guy on NXT.
I was a big fan of his. We saw him drinking at the bar the night before. We approached him. He was a very cool guy. We saw him the next day. I bought whatever it was, $10, $15 a ticket from his agent, and you get an autograph or a picture, either one. And while I was waiting in line, he just looked like he was a mess. He was an absolute mess. I thought about getting out of the line. One guy came up to me. All I had was the Intercontinental DVD, you guys. The DVD, the 3-disc set. And I wanted him to sign it because he was champion for 3 weeks. He beat Shawn Michaels in a terrific match. And this guy comes up to me with the Intercontinental belt. Tells me, look what he did to my belt. I don't know how this guy didn't murder it. He just kind of like scribbled on it.
It was
and
bad.
It was a replica belt. And I look at Marty Jannetty, and Marty, you were there. He has got his hands all over Missy Hyatt. He's behind her with his hands up around front, and she's trying to cover, guys, this is the truth. She's trying to cover her own chest, and she's like, okay, Marty, okay, all right, this kid wants an autograph, Marty. I'm kind of busy right now. And I was like, hell with this. And I went to his agent. I said, I'm not going to have, the guy's belt is destroyed. I'm not going to have him destroy my DVD set. I said, sir, I know you don't give refunds. I want my money back for this. And Mark, all three of you guys know me. I've eaten that ticket rather than get my autograph. I never complained about anything, but this was a matter of principle. And I said, sir, I want my money back. He said, well, we can't really do that. I said, I understand. Marty's a mess. And at that point, the guy looked over, and Marty Jannetty had a marker between his teeth, and he was signing somebody's whatever, picture, belt, DVD.
Thank God you went there with that.
What's that?
Thank God you went there with that he was signing that and not other things.
He's got a marker between his teeth, and the agent said, I'm really sorry. And he took my ticket back, and he actually gave me the $10 back. And I said, I'm sorry, too, because I was a big fan of his. And he just kind of shook his head, like the guy shook his head and kind of stormed over. I don't know if he yelled at him or said, hey, get it together, or what the hell's your problem, but he was a disaster. And that's not a judgment. That's not even anger, or me wishing to right or wrong, like, darn it, I didn't get my autograph. It's just the fact of the matter. The guy was an absolute disaster and an embarrassment, to be perfectly honest.
So, which leads us to this week. He just tweets out that he made a guy disappear. He was in a bowling alley. He was maybe a pedophile. Pa-da-da-da-da. I mean, that's not a good place to pa-da-da-da-da. But, like, what the fuck is going on with him? Like, I'm not condoning death. But, well, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years later, whatever he's saying this happened. And then he just tweets it out, and he deletes the tweet real quick, but you know somebody took a screenshot of that instantly, and it went all over the place. And now, like, the FBI is looking into this. I don't know if it's the FBI, but
no,
I think it is, honestly.
He addressed it again and went into the whole story about working at the bowling alley and went out back with the guy, smoked some weed.
Yeah, I heard he wanted to buy weed off.
And the guy grabbed him and threw him in the car, and other details, and said he beat the shit out of him, drug him down to a river. Now, literally, you were right. The FBI and local authorities are looking into disappearances of people around that area and everything like that. Now, this guy's a fucking nutcase. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's, hey, okay, Graham, something like that happened, yeah, the guy'd probably get offed if it was me too. But I'm not going to, Marty Jannetty, I don't think. I don't think he can piss straight, let alone do anything straight now.
I've started about a month ago. I don't know if Jenny just got on the Facebooks, but a month ago it came up, you might like this guy. And well, it's fucking Marty Jannetty, sure. So I friended him. Yep, I love you guys. Yeah, that's great, awesome. Holy shit, some of this stuff. Hey, this is the girl that I slept with last night, or look at this is my used condom from 3 weeks ago, or he is just clearly posting some off the wall shit. Like, he needs help. He legit needs help, and
you need to pitch a spotlight.
Going to jail. You know, we do need to pitch a spotlight.
Worst he can say is no.
I agree.
Pitch a spotlight.
I'll give him an old shirt that I have and the new ones that are probably coming. And a couple stickers, too.
Send him a fucking gallon bag size of confection sugar or something like that. That could be his fake cocaine or
unbelievable, this guy.
But I've heard it's been confirmed that the building is no longer a bowling alley, but there was a bowling alley
no, I don't know.
along whatever river down in, I don't even know where it is, fucking Tennessee. Where the hell is he now? I don't know. But I've heard it's been confirmed that whatever building used to be a bowling alley, so I'm intrigued to see what the final result of this is going to be.
Holy shit.
John, do you have any news to bring to the table before Chad's got something up on his phone? So
I just wanted to, as far as this story goes, you know, for a long time, Razor was self-destructive and nobody really knew why. And then we see the Scott Hall story, and we find out that he got in a tussle with someone and actually killed a man. He had to face that, and since then, he seems to be in a better place. And you guys, was it a 30 for 30? I don't know what it was. It was a Scott Hall story. And he said he went back to that same spot and said, I can still remember this, and I can still smell the gun smoke and everything else. He was reliving it, and he kind of needed to move past it. Sometimes you need to do that in life. If something happened to Marty Jannetty and it's caused him to be self-destructive, I wish him good health. I wish him the opportunity to kind of face that, relive it, and put it behind him and get well, because where he is now doesn't seem like a good place.
Chad, what do you got? I echo that, by the way.
Yeah, definitely want to see, hope for the best with him. His problems are long-standing since he was in the AWA. They came to WWE. They were fired before they made it on TV because of drugs and alcohol. Both him and Sean. Just hope he kind of gets it straightened out a little bit before it's too late. On the good side of news, guys, I can't push this enough. New Japan Pro Wrestling, worth the 999,000 yen that it costs, which comes to $9.97.
Woo! Cheaper than a couple networks.
It's worth it if you want to see an old school tournament with the best action in wrestling today. They announced that their G1 Climax tournament, which is 19 events over a month time, involves everybody multiple times. Moxley's going to be over there. Don't know exactly for how much. Guys, got to log on. It's going to start in September, but now they have their events. Their other events are loaded to the network. It's the best that there is. You don't have to really know these guys and have followed them. Such great action.
I got nothing. So,
well, all I can say is, knowing I was going to be here with you guys, I watched a lot of wrestling, and, being a tax collector, Mr. IRS, I've been busy, and this week, honestly, was great for how much wrestling I watched. Yeah, some of it was a shit show, but just pro wrestling is entertaining to me, and I hope you fans out there are entertained as much as I am.
Oh, you sound like Junkyard Dick there for a minute.
And it's because I'm drinking with you all fucking day. I don't do this shit. I smoke weed, not drink all day, dude.
And if And if
I never knew that, but I had a feeling. I don't want to say anything.
And I'm hanging out with Matt Riddle.
And if it wasn't heard early in the program, Jock Sampson, you fat hillbilly bastard, I want a match with you.
He could be champ right now. We don't know it because
he couldn't get that around his
fat ass.
Look at that. He has like a 5XL shirt on that barely goes below his man titties.
I give him credit, though. He's a Buckeyes fan. I'm a Buckeyes fan.
You're a fucking communist,
I'm
too.
a heel. No.
John, save us. What do you got?
That's about it. No, I think I'm good.
I think we're good, too. That's about it.
Yeah, all right.
It's Chad's pick next week, so Chad will get to pick whatever we watch.
Oh, I'm going to fuck with y'all one way or another.
I'm sure it's going to be another 8-hour event watching people get inducted into a playground.
Well, it wasn't like John's 450 match Texas Stadium pay-per-view over 8 months or whatever the hell it was.
It was better than your... I did not want to watch people get inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Neither did I. That's why I skipped through it, dumbass.
I did too. But it took me about an hour and a half. And then it still was way too long. Guys, this was great. For me, it was nice having Soup stop by. IWC is opening back up, so you'll hear more of Soup being his correspondent, doing his own business when we all go to IWC.
Later this month.
Excited about that. Imagine, as of right now, I'd like to pinpoint that I'm going to go, but it's something I have to pinpoint with the better half because I brought it up, and I'm not going to lie, and she kind of looked at me like, you probably shouldn't be going yet. And then she probably said, you probably shouldn't be going to IWC. And I'm like, well, that's already committed, but whatever. Nonetheless, this, that, or the other, and we all can drink right now. Guys, wrestling's great. It really is. We have a ball covering it for you. New intro, new stickers, merch to come. Just merch to come. We're excited. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, it's all at CanCrusher69. Head over to our website that is actually, picking up some steam now because wrestling's picking back up. They're all attached to every social media page. Continuing to bring you spotlights as we have a couple ready to be released as we have people set up for this week, and I'm excited. We have, hopefully now that wrestling's back up, people stop using social media, and we can attack some of the legends again and get to some people I've seen. I'm going to spoil this for you guys. I've seen... Don Morocco's now doing some stuff, and I'm excited about that. I need to talk to him.
I swear to you, I just had him on the brain. Honest to God, as soon as you said legends, first guy that came to mind is Don Morocco.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Hey, just a quick thing, forgot this. Continued well wishes to Bobby Fulton, the Fantastics. Still battling. The cancer did not come back, but the weakening of his whole immune system, but specifically in his throat and the veins and arteries and everything, he's battling. Boy, if there's ever a bad son of a bitch you want to look up to that's a fighter, this guy's got it. Continued well wishes. Hope to see you at your show in Ohio next year.
That'd be great. Another note then, the comic book Pro Wrestling Encyclopedia is in. The pre-orders have been shipped out recently, so now if you didn't do a pre-order, get your ass over to the link and, pre-order that because, as I will say, we are still the only podcast in the comic book Encyclopedia of Wrestling, and we will continue to work with the Squared Circle Comics as we'll just be in comic books, which is... I'm not a comic book fan as much as John is, but fuck, if I'm going to be in a comic book every so often, that's another place you can see my smiling face.
Yeah, this is a dream come true for me. I like to think about universes that could coexist. Mark, I've talked to you about this. Like, I wonder if Sam Malone ever pitched to Tony Maselli Probably not, because Sam Malone played for the Red Sox and Tony Maselli played for the Cardinals back before there was interleague play, and they don't really play in preseason. But maybe in a minor league system somewhere, I like to believe they exist in the same universe. My point is, since we're in this thing, I don't know, maybe I'm friends with Bruce Wayne, or I've been to Metropolis or something and seen Superman flying in the sky. I am now in a comic book universe.
You've been to WrestleMania 1. What else more do you need?
Nothing.
Even though there's no proof on that. Like when you went to wrestling, you appeared, like 42 times?
Yeah, next to somebody's ass, I think I recall hearing.
RVD's.
That's impressive.
It was looking right at it. When we've seen you drank with the Sandman.
Valid. Hey, ECW.
Right?
What can you say? Crazy shit happens that we show up on TV.
All right, let's see who can take this home. Because, guys, we got a new logo, we got a new intro, but we still wrap it up the same way. John?
Remember, guys, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things.
It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot, bitches.